Good afternoon, mamapreneurs. I hope that you had an excellent weekend. If you are also in Chicagoland, I need to know, do you enjoy the snow or are you ready to fly south? Are you working to become a snowbird? I am kind of working to be a snowbird. I think it would be so much fun. Um, uh, Not just a snowbird of like flying south in the winter, but like flying all over the time, like all of the time. So that is what I'm working for, to be a world traveler, I guess, in all seasons. So if you don't know, I am Cherise of Cherise in Chicago. I do the digging, I do the research, so you don't have to. I have Cherise in Chicago, the Facebook page and the Instagram account. If you find me on there, follow me and I will follow you back. I will definitely reach out because I love to meet all of you. But I use the Facebook account, the Streets in Chicago page, as like a back end of my business to show the behind the scenes of what I'm learning and what I'm doing so I can be a better business owner and to help other people, which is why we're all in business. No one is in business. No one is in business. Well, no one is successful in business when they're in business for themselves, right? We all start a business because we want to help other people. And that is what I do here. I try to help you and everyone else who comes through the path, and hopefully all my research is something that you wanted to know. I believe that it is because it's something that I want to know, right? So with that, today we are going to think about how to plan our content. 3 things to remember when we plan our content, and we're also going to go through steps. And guys, I love a good acrostic. Okay, I was actually thinking about the acrostic steps in a way because initially the first S was a B word and I could not come up with anything with a V in it. So I did a little research, got some synonyms, and I used synonyms to get an S word instead. So this is a framework on the thought process behind content planning. I like to plan my content on Friday or on Sundays. Fridays are usually better because on Fridays I have everything fresh in my mind of what I'm doing and what I did the week before. And, I've tried to content plan a whole month ahead, but by the end of the month, I'm already on something else. Like I'm already thinking about something else that I want to do. So I love to do a week at a time, even with batching content with photos. So I try to do that all, I try to batch my photos all in one day, but I like to batch my content a week at a time. And some of the things that I do, some of the things I consider and I think about whenever I am planning my own content, there's 3 things. And those 3 things are what do I want to teach people about? I consider how I can share the story I want to tell in a single photo, and I schedule it. And I know schedule it is like, what? But there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So what do I want to teach people about? I think about that whenever I am going through and I'm creating, I'm thinking through each post at the end or the beginning of the week. And that is, am I going to teach people about myself? Am I going to teach them about a service or a product? Or am I going to teach them about our team? And for me, every single time I do that, I have to think about the story that I'm laying out ahead of them. What do I want them to know? And why do I want them to connect with what I'm connecting with or what I'm sharing with them? When I do this, I have to think about what is the pain point that I'm going to point out and what is the solution. And for me, that is choosing one episode from one season. And, you know, a few Mamapreneur Mondays ago, I mentioned thinking about the pain point and the solution as a Full House episode. You guys, we've all seen Full House. We know that DJ, Michelle, and Stephanie, they get into some kind of mishap and they have to figure out how they can be forgiven, how they can mend a relationship, or confessing to whatever they did, like breaking a vase, or, you know, Danny, he was OCD, so how are they going to tell their dad that they you know, dirtied something up? So I always think about the solution as when Uncle Joey comes in and he used one of those character voices and he wraps it up, he makes it tidy, and he helps them have a lesson learned. And I also, like, that is just how I think. How can I help someone know my lesson learned from something that I fell through? So that is what I do with all of my posts. And, you know, some of my posts are deeper and some are lighthearted. Like typically with my girls, it's especially my youngest. She is someone who is always getting into some kind of mishap. So it's just light and fun. And I want my audience to know that I also have a crazy toddler who's always getting into something, and I am a mom who is not perfect. And we don't have to be perfect, but we can always work to get better. And then the second thing I consider is, how can I share that story in a photo? Some things are a little bit harder to put into a photo, and so they have to be more thought out. And guys, I know, a stage photo can be so uncomfortable to take. And, you know, sometimes it can feel a little not authentic. But for the photo to match your words, sometimes you just have to set it up. Remember, we're running a business. You're running your business. I'm running my business. And if you think about whatever your favorite product is, or how you go to wherever, Chick-fil-A, y'all, I can always go for a Chick-fil-A Arnold Palmer. When I pass by a billboard and I see two cows riding on the billboard, it's not really two cows. It's a staged cow. It's not real, guys. We know that it's not a real cow, but they're staged cows riding on the billboard. Eat more chicken. We have to be well thought out. Chick-fil-A, Coca-Cola, they don't have their cell phones right next to them waiting for just the perfect on a whim photo. They plan those photos out and they share. And, you know, one trick that I learned in on a post from one of the gals that I follow is she sets up her camera. She doesn't have someone take her photo. So she sets up a camera and she does video mode. She takes a video and then she just screenshots and shares a still from the video. So if it's more comfortable for you to have movement in your photos that you're going to post, try a video and then do a screenshot and share that. You know, that is Real Motion. I have set up a video for my family to take a family photo, or with my girls playing. The photo may be staged, but the words that you put underneath your photo, that's always authentic. And if it's not authentic, your audience is going to read right through it, y'all. And it's something that, you know, sometimes it is uncomfortable, but we have to step out our comfort zones if we're going to have big, burly businesses that help us take care of our families, okay? And another thing is, when you're running a business and you're posting photos, you can't wait for something to just happen for your photos, because we're planning our content. We, you know, things happen. We need to be, when we plan our content, we need to have those photos ready to be posted. Our posting schedule needs to be consistent because that helps us create know, like, and trust. Now, for myself, sometimes I have not posted, like I'll want to post in the morning, and we could totally get into the analytics of posting. That's a lot for today, but I know that my audience usually looks in the mornings before lunch, or they look right after lunch, or they look right around dinner time. So between like 6 and 9 o'clock, I try to choose one of those windows to post in. But sometimes, guys, I'm not ready for something to post, and then I'm scrambling for a post, because for me, I want to post every single day. You guys, we've seen my habit tracker. I'm posting on Instagram every single day. My goal is to post. In last month, I am very proud of myself. After the first week, I only missed 3 times, and that is very good, because I have gone weeks, or I wouldn't say weeks, I've gone a week without posting on my feed, or longer. I'm always in the stories. They're the best part of Instagram. But I say that because if you don't post on Instagram consistently, not only is your audience not able to create that know, like, and trust, but Instagram kind of penalizes you for not being consistent. Yeah, I know. So if we are going to use social media to build a business, we need to respect social media's rules. And whenever you respect those rules, social media will reward you. Not great with those R's, y'all. Not great with those R's. I don't know how I have 2 in my first name. I say them all the time. But when we respect social media's rules, we will be rewarded. And that is something that we really have to remember when we're trying to post consistency. And third thing, what we need to do when we're posting, and I kind of touched on it just before, is scheduling. Whenever we schedule our posts, and I would say that something that I'm definitely working on, especially this month. Last month I did better at posting every day and scheduling what I'm going to post, but this month I need to work on not only scheduling what's going to go that day, but when I'm going to post it. And last week, I started setting alarms in my phone, and that really helped, because before it got too late, I was able to get that all together and throw it up onto my Instagram. And when I say throw it up, it's not like throwing spaghetti on the wall. Like, the things I'm posting are definitely with purpose, like being intentional about what's going on there, so that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. And when I say schedule it, one of the things that we learned in our one of the things that I learned when I was reading The Lazy Genius Way is deciding once. So I'm deciding once what I'm going to put onto Instagram, and I am deciding once what time it's going to go up. And I like having choices of what time I can put it up, but I definitely need to be consistent with that. Okay, so now that we know what we are thinking about whenever we are going to post, like we know what we're thinking about for each post, we can go into what category it falls into. For me, I like to think of my posts as categories and framework. For me, I actually put it on the bottom of my content schedule. So every single day, I have what I need to do for the day. And I work in a framework. So my framework is memories, motivation, passions, and fun. I talk about Maddie James every single live because she is an OG and she shares such great information. If you haven't liked her page or you follow her on Instagram, I highly, highly encourage you to do that. So that is my framework, but in my categories, I have steps. Yeah, I'm so proud of the steps thing, just in case you're wondering. Because of synonyms, that's why I'm proud. The acrostic, I'm very proud of the acrostic that I came up with. So when we're posting in our categories, I post in steps, and that is struggle or vulnerability, and that was a V word that I couldn't put into my acrostic, so I had to change it. So our struggle, what we're going to teach our audience in our post, and this is like what happens in our caption, engagement, personal, or sharing. Now, these are what goes into the captions and how our framework fits into these. We are posting with purpose. So we're not just throwing whatever we can at the wall and hoping it sticks. We have a business. We want to reach and connect with our audience so they can know, like, and trust us, and we can build relationships. Now, guys, I know that most of us are in multi-level marketing or social selling. We're all marketers. It doesn't matter if you have a business, we're marketing and using that with social media. So with your personal brand, or if you have something else, we're building our personal brands here. And that's what that is what I put all of my information under, is building brands and how we do that. So for us, we're helping people understand our brands and ourselves, because most of us are building personal brands. So with that, we post in different categories. So with steps, that gives us 5 things or 5 categories to post under, and that is a struggle. Like, are we going to share something that we're struggling with? Are we going to share something that we want to teach? And I'll go back just a little bit. Our struggles, or we're being vulnerable in our post, is like pretty much everything that I post or that I talk about in a Facebook Live is a struggle that I'm dealing with currently, and what I'm doing to fix it. So last week one of my struggles was, I noticed, I'd say throughout the month of January, one of the struggles that I had was I wasn't able to read my habit tracker well, and it was because I didn't write them out. I didn't write them out well. So what I did, I made a small change, and I was able to put, and I posted this on the page, I was able to put things that are like once a month or once or twice a week, and then at the bottom I put all of my everyday things, and that was a struggle, but I had a solution to it. Well, I guess that is a solution, but if I hadn't found the solution, I would talk about what I'm doing to get through it. Let's see, another example of a struggle. A struggle is just something that you're going through right now that you don't have a solution to yet, but you're working on it. And that is pretty much everything that I do on Facebook Live. Like, I'll share the things, like the small things that I come to a solution with, but outside of that, usually it's just something that I'm working on. Like storytelling, that's a struggle that I have, and I'm working on it. And then teaching. What is something that we can teach our audience through our post, like our static post, or through our feed? And for teaching, that can be how to use a product, how to cook a recipe, how to improve something. We're teaching someone like a skill quickly in our post. The third thing that we can post in a category with is an engagement. An engagement, like, we always want people to respond to our post, right? We always want someone to respond to our post. But with this, we want to, whenever we're doing engagement, it's like you're asking a question. It's super easy. Like, you could do A, B, C, or D, and then like give an option for each, and then your audience will put the response in the comments. It's excellent for your engagement. And the fourth thing that we can do in our post, a category, is personal. We want our audience to get to know us. For me, most of the things that I post are personal things. But I also like to go by this rule that Jasmine Star taught me. And it is to just, when you're posting on social media, tell things that you're comfortable telling a stranger on a plane. Now, guys, I am a bit of an oversharer. I'm glad I realized that early, but so I wasn't just like word vomiting all over everything and everywhere and doing a lot of deleting. I do delete some of my posts because I feel like it's not fitting to who I am, and I have to take it back, or I feel like it's just a little bit too much. So I bring it back a little. That's okay. It's your platform. You can give as much or take away as much as you want, you know? And so that is what I do sometimes when I post. But personal, you know, for myself, I would consider myself definitely more lifestyle-ish, because my niche, which was very hard for me to nail down, is motherhood. And I love that. I will stick with it forever because I get to share more, and I don't have to only talk about cooking or only exercising, which, guys, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I don't exercise a lot, you know? I'm working. It's another thing I need to work on. I'm doing much better. I exercised this morning. I know. Thank you, Shanti. And thank you, Rachel, because you're the one that hooked me up with it. So thanks, guys. I am getting healthier by the moment. So that's like a personal thing, a personal life that I just shared. Like it's not too much. It's like not going into how many gallons of sweat that I sweat this morning or how out of breath I was. You know, that might be too much. It depends on who you are, I guess. And the last thing is sharing. Now, all the things that we're doing, we're sharing, but this is like sharing an example of someone, the benefits or products. Like, why do I like this product the most? And I'll go back into the photos that we post. How do you share a benefit, or how do you share a product in your feed that is attention grabbing, or might be inspiring to your audience? How do we get our audience to say, wow, she did it and I can do that too? Because I believe in business, that which is what you're inspiring others. The focus of your photo should not be of your product. Now, sorry, I lost connection and it got a little off, so let me think. The focus of our photo should not be our products. It should be us and the benefits. And luckily, whenever we post a photo, we have that huge caption of all those characters that we can utilize to share the benefits. So maybe if you have been exercising for a while and one of the benefits for you is being able to play with your kids, take a photo of you playing with your kids, because that's more interesting than you just posing for a before and after. There are a lot of before and afters on our Facebook, and Instagrams, and guys, I absolutely love them. But which one talks more to your audience for a mom who wants to get off the couch, they're discouraged because they're not able to, just take the first steps. They're not making that choice to make the habit to exercise. How can we show that the benefit of exercising is more than just looking at ourselves in the mirror or how other people see us? It's playing with our kids. It's maybe posting a picture of yourself in a dress that you have been wanting to wear and it's been in the back of your closet for years. Like, you can take a picture of you in the dress and post it, but remember to put something in the caption that brings your audience and engages them in the caption, That is also another thing that our social media rewards us for, is how long someone stays in our post. So, guys, so 3 things we can consider when we're content planning, and that is, what do I want to teach my audience? And that is a pain point and a solution. We're choosing one episode from one season from our, we're choosing one pain point to get one solution. We're choosing one episode from one season in our lives. Remember, Full House. 2, consider, how can you share your story in a photo? If someone doesn't have enough time to read the caption, what is going to make her want to read the caption, 3, remember, schedule it. We're choosing one time. And if you need to set an alarm on your phone like I do, so you remember to post. Because girlfriend, I'm right there with you with alarms. I even have an alarm for remembering to feed my kids lunch because oh gosh, because I don't eat lunch early. I usually eat it later and my kids are hungry and I'm not. So I have to remember to feed my kids before they get hangry. And lastly, we are going to remember our acrostic steps, and that is we're sharing a struggle. Are we going to teach them something? Are we wanting to create engagement on our post? Are we going to share something personal? Or are we going to share like benefits or a product? As always, I want to hear if you learned anything from this live. Was this helpful? Is there any question? Are there any questions that you have? Do I need to clarify a little or a lot on anything? Also, I want to meet you, so please send me a message so I can get to know you a little bit better and we can grow our businesses together. We can lock arms and run. We still have our Monday women's group where we talk all things business, and I'd love to send you a link to that so we can see what your goals are, talk about our goals, and get moving forward with one another. If you haven't gotten your habit tracker for the month, it's still the first. There's still plenty of time to check our habits off so we can get a little bit closer to our goals every single day. And yeah, that's it. Guys, I didn't say, oh yeah, 4 times as getting off. And I think that this was a pretty short live, so I am getting better. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, and maybe I'll run through Chick-fil-A and get an Arnold Palmer, which is my favorite. So have an excellent week. If I don't see you before the end of this week, I will see you Monday. Bye, guys.